Stop it.
Can you mute your mic for a second?
Yeah. How do I do that?
I click in the Hangouts window and then click on the mic at the top.
Oh, I see it.
Okay, didn't want to get double sound there. All right, welcome everyone to the Atlanta FileMaker Developers Group. Today is December 5th, 2018. So let's go around the room and start with introductions. That's
Christy McAdvantage.
Junior, 360 Works.
Joe Martin, 360 Works.
Joshua, 360 Works.
Ryan, 360 Works.
There's a pattern.
Sherry's 360.
Sean, 360 Works.
Earl, Laser Solutions.
Gail, Laser Solutions.
Right. And my name is David Mayoda from Blue Feather. So today's presenter is Joe from 360 Works. I'm going to pass this over to him. He's going to be presenting on some new Amazon Web Services, kind of building off of off of Jesse's presentation from, I think it was 2 months ago. They did that, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm going to pass this over to Joe now. Here we go.
So I'm muted on here, so you unmute now, so make sure.
Okay, I believe I'm unmuted. Yeah. All right, cool. So today I wanted to. I've been working with a couple AWS Rekognition services, and Rekognition is sort of it's a machine learning API that is offered by Amazon. They have a bunch of baked-in machine learning services that you can take advantage of.
Wait, hold on. This isn't showing the presentation here.
Would it help if I check the screen?
I think we got it. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
No, yep. Yeah, so why don't I just actually open that up? Just to give you an idea. So I think, okay, here we go. So AWS Rekognition makes it really easy to send up a picture or a video and have Amazon's kind of computing power analyze the photo, and you can do object or scene detection and sort of extract results from pictures which would otherwise be impossible to get out of just using conventional programming. In this image, we're doing object detection here, and you can see we've sort of placed a bounding box behind around everything that we can reliably pick out. Here we have a person. It's cool. It's cool. It kind of picks up the skateboard, and wheels too on the cars. And then even over here, you can see this person. I don't even know if I can really make out a person over there. Might be a false positive. I don't know. The other thing you might notice is we actually get confidence scores on each of these results. So how sure is the machine learning API that this object is what it thinks it is? And most of the time they're going to be pretty high. Once you get into lower numbers like 50 and 60%, you can be less positive that the object detection is right. But in this case, it's done pretty good. Another thing, so that's object detection. Another thing it does is scene detection, where you can sort of see in this photo, we're not getting any bounding boxes. There's nothing really that we're focusing on, but we can tell that this is a town. It's an urban landscape. There are some high rises here, so that sort of thing. And today I wanted to show you guys how we can do this in FileMaker. So why don't we jump over there? And as it turns out, it's really simple. So we really just need a let's find a good photo here. Like, okay, here we go. So I already kind of ran the results on this, but we can send up the photo as a base 64 encoded string, basically, and Amazon will accept that, process it, and basically return the results back to us. And here I'm sort of just recreating the example they had, where we're showing the image here, we're putting a bounding box over the objects it recognizes, and we're showing the other results that it picked up over here on the right. So, you know, obviously, you know, we're picking up that there's a dog here, but we're also seeing, you know, nature, outdoors, gravel. I think it's pretty cool here that we're actually cumulus. You know, we're picking up the type of clouds that are in this photo, which I think is pretty neat. So, excuse me. Diving in a little bit into how this works. So we're doing the detect labels here. There's only three things you need to make this work. You need your AWS access key and secret key, which are actually kind of outlined here in our documentation. You might notice this is for Cloud Mail, but the process is the same for any service. You go set up an account and you get your access keys, and then you can put them in here. And then we need to base64 encode the image that we want to send up, and that's it. That's all you need to do to make the rest of this script work. If you want to look at the actual request that we're sending up, it's just we need a very simple JSON payload with the base64 data in there at this specific JSON position. The rest of this is just kind of boilerplate stuff that we need. The URL the endpoint that we're sending this request to, the name of the service. So this is getting, let's see if I can't, okay, it's a little bit better. The other thing that if you wanted to use a different service, you'd probably want to change this specific request header here. So right now I'm doing detect labels, but if you wanted to do detect text, you'd want to change that to detect text. And there's a number of other services you could take advantage of. I think, let me see if I can find oh yeah, here we go. So these are all of the methods that Rekognition offers. Some of these are duplicated because you can perform them asynchronously. You could like kick off a whole bunch of image processing at once and then come back later and check on the results of each one. But so the ones we're doing today is detect labels right here, and you can sort of see the this is the request. I'm actually omitting most of this request. All I'm doing is image and bytes. The rest of this is optional. So yeah, I kind of wanted to show you guys some of the funnier results I had when playing around with this. I mean, most of the times it's really dead on, you know. It can tell there's a dog here. It can even tell that this is a pug. You know, it can determine the breed of dog. Kind of like earlier we saw it determine the type of cloud. But other times it's just way off. You know, in this case, it thinks this is a penguin.
It does kind of look like a penguin. Is it whales or I think it's whales?
Yeah, right.
I can see a little.
Yeah, and then you know, at the same time, we can tell that there's a Labrador Retriever in the photo. There's a pointer, maybe that's, you know, getting some wires crossed there or something. This one's pretty good.
So we're seeing these yellow boxes here. What are the
So
This is not an image, right? This is a web viewer that it's in?
Yeah, it's really a it's a consequence of the result we get back from Amazon. Here, let me show you what we got. So this is basically when I send Amazon this image, this is the JSON payload I get back. You know, it thinks it thinks there's a phone. It's pretty positive that there's a phone in this photo. But you'll notice for this one right here, sink faucet, we actually get a bounding box, and that's sort of that Amazon is telling us, all right, in this square region, we're pretty sure that there's a sink faucet right here. I don't know why some results get a bounding box and others don't. I'm just, anytime that I get a bounding box, I'm graphing it. You can, as part of the request, you can specify a minimum confidence. So you could say like, don't return any results that are below like an 80% confidence score. And then that way, I mean, this would be omitted from the result and would not get plotted in the web viewer.
So I wonder if by omitting one that returns with the bounding box, if it would then
like bound something else.
Bound something else. That was it. Was.
I'm curious. Let's try it. Is that okay with everyone?
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of hoping that we could just play around with this tonight. So let's go. I need to look at that. So I just need a min confidence element for my request. Yeah. So, okay, if we run that again, we should. All right, so no bounding boxes. Yeah, all right, and it's been omitted from the results. So, yeah, that's a fairly quick modification. So yeah, why don't we just move on to something else? The other thing I was playing around with was text detection in images, which I think is arguably has some pretty interesting uses. One thing that we tried, Sean actually gave me this photo. Let's see if we can pick out a CAPTCHA. And
I'm not a robot.
Yeah. And it's interesting, right? Because we get half of it. We got half of it. This we just have no idea.
I would hit refresh on that.
But yeah, it's really good. I mean, it can pick up this stuff. One of these, this is like, I have like an image inside of an image here. Like I took a screenshot of my screen, and it's just, it can't really pick up, it can't really tell what these words are. I mean, we can't either. There's just no way we can read the text this small, but, and it really gets it wrong. Mm-hmm. But the rest of this stuff, I mean, it's picking up everything pretty well, and we can sort of see the results over here as well, accompanied by confidence scores.
Mm-hmm. And is the result in order of like a left to right, top to bottom? Is there any rhyme or reason? And
yeah, I think so. So it's right. It's exactly that. It's from left to right, top to bottom.
So you could make a calculation to regenerate the paragraph if you wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it thinks, what is it? Yeah. So that's my MacBook Pro, and then new record, delete record, find, sort, share. DW, AWS Rekognition, detect labels. Yeah, and then kind of all these down here.
I feel like that'd be good for reading PDFs. You know,
Yeah.
that aren't native PDFs, that were something else originally and exported as a PDF, so there's no way to like
Right.
process that information. Maybe you could.
Something that's flattened.
Yeah, parse it this way.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of a workaround to OCR.
Right. Right. I mean, it is.
I mean, I guess it is OCR, really.
It is OCR, but it's almost better, at least in my experience. Whenever I've tried to mess around with OCR in the past, I've always had like really bad results. I think it's the result of not really. You can train OCR to get better at, like, you know, recognizing math equations or like ignoring images and stuff like that. But it was always really difficult, and this just works right out of the box, which was really nice. So we did do a third service here, which is facial detect faces. Basically, is there a face in this photo? And we didn't, you know, I didn't really choose anything to display over the bounding box because there's really just a ton of information here. It guesses at an age range, you know, do they have a beard, and then, you know, bounding box, we've seen that one before. Yeah, and then we get confidence scores for each emotion, you know.
Tell Jesse about that. They're like, hey,
Jesse is 0.
Wow. That's scary.
Yeah.
0 sad.
Yeah, right. It can tell that he's wearing, you know, eyeglasses, eyes are open. This is a male. And then it also gives you these, you could plot these points if you wanted to, you know, where's the left eye, where's the right eye, where's the mouth, all that kind of stuff. A lot of them actually. And he's smiling, so that's good. And not wearing sunglasses, you know, because he's inside, and that's weird. So which one? Oh yeah. We ran a we did this one, which is a photoshopped face, but and it came. I feel like it choked on this one a little bit because it rated them as like angry and yeah, so it didn't really.
But it picked up a smile, I think, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
We're just
Okay, so yeah, he was saying he was
An angry
angry
smile.
smile.
What about age range? Is that correct?
43 to 26.
yeah, but dwarves, who knows? You
We finally could send like 500.
Yeah.
This is a human, it's a dwarf.
And then of course we did this, and it sort of was like, okay, we're age 35 to 52, no beard. It was pretty just thrown off by this. I think it's calling this an angry, disgusted female, you know.
52.
Right.
What if they assume that people are giving them good data when they're like updating their algorithms?
Right, yeah.
Now this is gonna come in there and be like, throw everything off.
Yeah, you know, I was kind of wondering that too, and so but if I so like if I you know what, I'm excluding confidence scores below
80.
below 80, right? I just need to count. I'm storing these. Yeah, that works now. So I can just search for penguin, and of course, you know, I get this picture. But if what is penguin? Penguin's at 60. Let me turn that back off. I run this, no matter how many times I run this through, I always get back penguin. So it's not like I think it's probably at a point where if it does learn, it learns it's kind of plateaued, you know. If it is still learning, it's learning very slowly. So it's always going to think there's a penguin right there. You know, it's 60% sure there's a penguin.
I don't know how it gets feedback from this stuff too.
Right, that's what I was wondering.
Yeah,
I can't tell them that that's something.
right.
Now I'm wrong. We can't correct it.
Yeah, we'd have to. We'd probably have to like open a support ticket or something, and it would take, you know, tons of training and time to get it right.
Google came out with an app that you could like identify images and categorize images to contribute to machine learning stuff that they were doing for the image recognition.
Yeah.
So you could pick a tag and it says, does this image have this tag in it? You kind of say yes or no on each of the things. That's interesting. I don't know how Amazon learns some other stuff.
Man, that was kind of my whole presentation.
How cool would it be if you could take a picture of like a bird or an insect and have it identified through this service?
I bet.
By species?
I bet it would.
Yeah, like a type of bird. I mean, or
Give you the scientific name of it or something like that.
Probably could.
yeah.
Maybe they got bug.
That's true.
Right.
I guess that it would have to be part of that subset of bug, you know, or insect.
No, I'm saying it got pug. The dog was.
Well, I'm saying, but that's got to be part of a subset of dog. So if water bear isn't part of the subset of insect, it's not going to be able to give you that answer. Even though I don't think water bear is an insect, I think it's some kind of
It's like-
microorganism.
Right. I want to see. This is. I've always had an affinity for water bears because they're like practically invincible.
Okay. What is he gonna say?
Hands.
It kind of does have fingers. It's got a weird thumb.
No other suggestions for you. It's just the hands.
And it's only kind of common.
Right.
I'm not sure what else it could be.
Do a picture of ET.
Oh yeah.
Extraterrestrial.
Right.
It's always kind of annoying to like.
There's a Chrome extension that you can get that is a view original that adds that view original button back.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Nice.
And it pops back up in there. Alien.
What is bronze? Just the color, I guess.
Yeah.
Bronze.
Goblet.
Glass.
This could be a glass.
Somebody's probably made one of them.
Yeah. Let's see if we can. Yeah. Spider. See, that's so weird. It's like mosquito is way higher on the confidence scale, or not way higher, 10% higher, but we're getting a bounding box for that. It's infallible. This is the future.
Right.
Can you scroll through your records back to the graphic images that you had?
Yeah. So these kind of hurt your eyes if you look at them for too much, but I'm getting rug on like every single one of these. This is a rug. This is a rug. And this one, okay. So I do want to point out, if you're playing around with this demo and you upload a photo and you get this error message, I'm not quite sure, but it looks like just some small percentage of photos are like slightly corrupt and they get rejected by Amazon. So it seems to be a very small set of photos but I've run into it twice now, and I've probably done like 100 photos or something like that. So anyway, just
I would like to know if you do a screenshot of that picture.
I was just gonna say that, yep.
this one right here.
Yeah, just do a screenshot of that.
And I'll insert the screenshot in.
That works. Yeah. There we go. Hat.
Person.
Person.
Tom Hanks, you are a person.
It's
Oh, wow,
cool.
It's like clothing items too.
Mhm.
That's pretty neat.
Overcoat.
Do they have the baby?
Frown.
Oh wow, the frown.
Yeah.
It picked it up and it was a collage. That's cool too.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, you're right. Which is, I guess, a type of advertisement.
Nice. Is there like a list somewhere of all the different categories and
like
stuff?
the total hierarchy,
Yeah.
probably, but I don't know. Yeah, but
Somewhere.
somewhere. It's somewhere. I don't know that we have access to it. I haven't seen it.
it identifies performer.
Yeah, it might be. Okay. There's another thing you can do. It's celebrity detection.
Oh.
And it's weird seeing that, but but
I wonder why they would pick him.
100%
so celebrity detection is another thing that I haven't done this in my demo, but I think it's probably linked in there at some point, and if they're tripping that flag, they might get flagged as a performer, something like that. Some of the other stuff they can do, like facial comparison. This is where you'd upload two photos. You'd upload, a source photo and a target photo, and it can tell you that, like, oh, this person is also in this photo, but they're, but these are different people here.
I feel like Facebook does that.
Yeah, for like auto tagging.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, just getting creepier and creepier. And the other one they're kind of demoing here is image moderation, which is basically like, is this image inappropriate? And here, if I click on this one, we can see it's got like suggestive content in the photo. So yeah. And then, if you, and here's kind of like this is the facial analysis, kind of the detect faces that we were doing.
Not wearing glasses.
Right.
She just has really big eyes.
It's kind of creepy how it does these like dots,
Oh, those are the bounds, like saying that, like, if you're left
Yeah.
or you're right.
Am I supposed to sleep tonight?
This is how computers see us.
Mhm. Yeah, so I think
Their
there's
glowing beady eyes.
yeah.
Now, how are FileMaker developers using Rekognition?
I don't.
That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know that they are. I just figured out how to do it a couple weeks ago.
Really cool.
So I can think of some use cases in this sort of thing though. We had some clients in construction and they take a lot of photos on job sites
Mhm.
and they add tags onto a job so that when they want to go and search for similar projects, they could search through their job history and find things that use brick a certain way or certain types of stacks. So some of the stuff that they were putting in was manual and very job specific. Like this is the job where we did this service.
Right.
But it could definitely be possible that people would want to stick those photos in a database and then tag them and categorize them in their solution and say, like, within a particular job, do I have any photos of brick?
Mhm.
Like what brickwork did we do? And do we have photos of those bricks? And so they can stick all their photos in their database jobs and
Yeah.
use this sort of a thing for tagging those, make the searching easier.
Mhm.
Does it work with video or just still pictures?
It does work with video. You can
So companies could use it if they had like a surveillance to recognize employees and tag their videos automatically, or?
Yeah, you can, right, you can, right, you could have it analyze, right, analyze some footage and tell you who's in the footage, what are they doing. Yeah, you can get like objects and activities here, and
Human.
beard is
Speech.
I like thinking of beard as an activity.
Object
But one scary aspect also is the customer walks in, they identify the customer, and they all do a lookup, and they know what the customer has been buying.
Right.
They know their name, they go up and, how was that whatever you just got last time we're doing, we've got something you might like to go along with it.
That's like what in Minority Report.
Yeah.
Walking stores, and
that's
then
what I was
it's
thinking.
like, hey, welcome back, so-and-so.
Yeah.
How's your trip to Thailand?
And these are the baked in machine learning APIs. Like you don't really get to control what exactly the subject matter that these sort of operate against. If you really wanted to go a lot deeper into machine learning, which I don't have a big draw to do this, but you can use, there's another service called SageMaker, which lets you sort of build your own machine learning model and train it up with a bunch of your own data. And I think that could be really in some really specific sort of business cases that could be pretty useful. Like if you could take a photo of a wall and identify mold or something like that, that would be pretty cool. Or just identify some pick out something that's specific to your business and apply it there.
Yeah, definitely.
Cool. Yeah.
Are you guys incorporating it into any plugins or anything at 360
No, we're just kind of giving it away at this point. It was a fun little demo to put together, and it'd be really cool to see it out in the wild if someone comes up with a cool use case for it. Yeah, I don't think. I could see using the what would be cool is for our freaking support, for our support tickets, people like to send in screenshots of error messages. If we could use this to parse the text from the error message out of the image, and then somehow search for that against other related tickets or something, that could be pretty neat.
Wow.
Do it.
Well, that's cool stuff. Were there you showed a bunch of services that were available through this. Could you pull that list up and
Yeah.
some of the ones that were there?
So let's see. Yeah, why don't we can just look at the API. So compare faces is kind of interesting. If you have there is a prerequisite here. You have to have 100 pictures of this face at different angles and stuff inside of an S3 bucket. But once you do that, you can basically take a picture of that face at any angle and send it up to Amazon and say, who is this? And it'll tell you. So that could be used for employee identification or customer identification, something like that, and link them.
Yeah, because the customer's going to sit there and let you take 100 pictures at different angles. Okay, wait,
That's enough food to get it on.
Yeah.
So that's compare faces. I think these might all have to do with that. And then detect faces. That's the one that we demoed basically, where it'll just tell you, is there a face in the photo? Are they happy? That sort of thing. Detect labels is the object and scene detection. What is there a skateboard in this photo? Is there a car? Stuff like that. Moderation labels is the one where it can tell if there's adult content in a photo. Text is Right, detect text in an image and sort of, extract that, and so you could pull that into your FileMaker solution.
And these are all just JSON payload depending on like the
Yeah.
object type.
Most of these APIs just require you to send up an image, and then it returns basically a big JSON response of here are all the things inside this image.
Okay.
Celebrity recognition. Oh, and then this is for, I think the rest of these are for, yeah, these are if you want to do like if you want to do like a process a batch of images asynchronously, you can upload them and start a face search, and then you kind of check back at a later point and see if it's done.
So the other ones, you send an image up and then it waits to return the response to you with the results. But these other options saying you can do a whole batch and then just query or queue up a job and get the results later instead of one at a time.
Yeah, I don't know what the benefit would be to doing it that way. It seems like it's, I mean, maybe if you had like a whole bunch, that it would be beneficial to do it that way. But I mean, it's pretty quick to return. We're doing it synchronously here, and we're sending it up and waiting for the response and getting the response back really quickly. So,
You know what the pricing is like on this stuff?
yeah, it's not bad. So this is the video API pricing. I only demoed images, but so yeah, price per 1,000 images processed is $1 for the first 1,000,000 images, and then it gets cheaper after that. So it's really affordable. 1/10 of a cent per image.
Wait, the first 1,000,000. Okay.
Go for it. Yeah.
What would we do with like a lot of the same objects in one image, like a bowl of M&Ms or like a Where's Waldo picture or something? Like, would it just have bounding boxes on every human?
Find Waldo?
Yeah, can it find Waldo?
This is the ultimate test now.
Can you find all the humans?
I'm gonna guess it's gonna be something like drawing and cartoon.
No, so for this one, you would need the face comparison and upload 100 pictures.
Yeah, and then find Waldo. Yeah, there you go.
I know what I'm doing tomorrow.
I found Waldo.
Oh, it costs you 10 cents.
Yeah, right. There's a 5 megabyte limit on these photos. So if they're over 5 megabytes, I think that restriction is removed if you upload the image to S3 first, and then instead of doing like a base 64 encoded thing, you give it a path to the S3 object. All right, let's see.
See how fast does it?
Plot.
What's a plot?
I feel like it is.
Rug is a catch-all.
This is definitely a rug.
Waldo, where are you?
He's in the top of the corner right there in the postcard.
Yep, got him.
It's a trick.
Got him.
It's a rug.
Yeah.
We don't know what it is. It's a rug.
I wonder. It's like when you see that really creepy bug outside every once in a while, and you're not sure what kind of bug it is. I wonder if you could just like snap a photo and tell me what kind of bug this is.
Like how detailed it could be.
That's my idea.
Does this work
our
with
next
music
product.
like that What's the app? that
Oh,
you can-
Shazam?
Shazam, is this
No, Rekognition is like purely image based. I don't think it does anything with sound.
It'll do not this, but there's an Amazon service that will
do
do
sound.
speech.
Oh, right. It'll
You send
do.
them a recording, and it'll send you back the text of the recording.
Mhm. Yeah, transcribe, I
Mhm.
think is the name of that. Yeah. Anything else? What other any other photos we should look at?
I think this is the whole thing.
Yeah, yeah, it's pretty neat. Simple to use too. Really simple.
Mm-hmm.
A magic eye? See if you can find the image.
Yeah, see if you can find the magic eye. Wait, we gotta.
Yeah,
we gotta know what's in
this
the
is
magic
gonna
eye
be
first.
It's a rug.
Let me.
It's a rug. It's definitely gonna be a rug. 98% confidence.
I can't see them ever.
I can't do them either. They never work for
I
me.
just
I can't remember the trick.
You have to close your eye. They say you have to like zoom in close to it and then back away.
Yeah.
You really just.
Your eyes are supposed to be relaxed
Shake it.
and it's supposed to be parallel. You want your eyes to be parallel, so like you're looking at something really far away.
It's not a rug.
Oh, it picked up fractal.
Interesting.
Wow.
But what is it supposed to be?
Art.
Can't see it.
A rug. It's a hidden image of a rug.
Now, why are some results giving up here and others don't?
Whoa.
It's I couldn't tell you exactly.
What is it?
It does seem like there's this hierarchical definition of objects, and then not all of them have parents or have been grouped into parents. I wonder. Yeah. Sorry.
The stream is going crazy. What?
Yeah, when you zoom in, everything you follow.
It says I love
Oh, I see. Gotcha.
Didn't pick up the words.
you. It says I love you.
I was about to get, yeah, I'm trying
Is
to
it
get
really?
it, I lost it.
Is that what it was?
I
There's
saw
a
letters.
heart in the right corner.
Don't see it.
What?
I know you
Good
are.
lie.
It says I heart.
Oh yeah, I see the heart.
Nope.
Well,
Nope.
Oh, I
not
can
at
really
all.
see it now. I heart you.
Oh right. They use
Put it away.
they use
It doesn't
underneath.
hurt me.
Okay.
Are you seeing things?
Yeah.
Looks like a rug to me. Why is it called Magic Eye? Just the book of rugs.
Oh my god.
Right to you, obviously.
Amazon bot. AWS bot.
Yeah, we're talking about bugs.
Yeah.
You know, if you get close enough to this thing to take a picture of it.
Actually, can you do a copperhead and see if it recognizes copperhead?
Yeah. Yeah.
Be cool to be able to like tell if a snake was venomous or like.
Oh, two-headed
actual-
copper snake. Let's see. This one looks a little bit more.
Oh, it didn't save, I don't think. Look at the. So if you do save image as, look at the file type. Google's WebP.
Hmm.
You change it.
I've been seeing images with JP too. There's that. So JPEG. I'm doing a suffix of JP2.
It's Google's WebP again.
All right.
Well, just put JPEG at the end of it and see if they'll.
It might. I think they don't want us to take that photo.
Google's WebP.
Oh, here we go.
Oh,
Oh, didn't get it.
yeah, not a copperhead.
It doesn't say not a copperhead.
You got rattlesnake.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And not king snake.
Right.
Yeah, king snakes are just solid black, aren't they?
It's a king snake?
Just throwing a guess.
Yeah, right. The confidence, I feel like the confidence score, like the lower it gets, the more, the deeper the shrug is.
50% rug.
Snake.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Cool,
Thank
man.
you very much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
What's up, Joe? All right.
Thanks, guys.
Interesting.
Very cool. So I don't know anything about this, but I thought of a good idea if someone else wants to figure something out, which is extending, well, actually, we could start with the basic one, which is using the iOS SDK. I don't know anything about that. Anyone here used the iOS SDK before? And then I want to see about extending the iOS SDK. What can you do beyond just building your FileMaker thing as an app?
Yeah.
Well, so if FileMaker Go, do you have access to all the internals like the accelerometer and okay?
I mean, I would guess there'd be something you could do something with threads and alternate kinds of processing.
Right. Or
Well,
just-
so for
yeah.
FileMaker needs to be in the foreground in order to do most of its processing. Whereas with the app, you could, like an SDK, you could have the beacon set up to where geofence or something like that. To where if you
So
go
it will respond, FileMaker will respond to beacons and geofencing with 17, I think, right? FileMaker Go 17?
Never mind. But you know where I'm.
Maybe it's not, I don't know if it'll do geofencing, but I'm pretty sure it'll respond to beacons.
Mhm.
I could be wrong about that. I thought that was like, the Go 17 thing, was better beacon support. And they've got notifications now too.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know how, like, I think there would be some cool things you could do extending, like, half build something in FileMaker and then extend it somehow.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't really know much about that.
Yeah, it'd be really cool if there was. Is there any like Siri integration with FileMaker Go? Like, can you say, "Hey Siri, send me run this report," or like run a FileMaker script or something like that?
I don't think so.
Yeah, I kind of doubt it, but that'd be neat.
Now, has
But you could
anybody,
probably do something if you extend it with the SDK. I don't know. Can you will an app work like that to extend Siri?
I
You have to have some
suppose-
special Apple approval for that.
Yeah, you can do very minimal stuff. Like I can say, "Hey Siri, press play," and she'll start like playing my audiobook, But I can't say like, "Hey Siri, like open Audible and play the audiobook," or something like that.
Is that built into the app, or is that something that
I think that's.
Apple has to support?
I think it's right. I think it's some external hook. It's like if you're an audio source, like the play pause buttons are like a little bit global.
It's probably added as like permissions when you download the app or something like that.
Yeah.
At least like Android will do it. Like Android, you download an app and it's like, this app needs XXX and X permissions to do it. So maybe the app requests some kind of like Siri permission to press play.
Yeah.
So will the SDK sell on the Apple App Store?
You can make an app using the iOS SDK, which you are allowed to sell on the App Store and deploy. But
Yeah.
there's a big but with that, which is with a FileMaker iOS SDK app, you lose all of your data anytime you push an update to it. So FileMaker puts some specific warnings in there about that. That says you probably don't want to do that unless it's just reading data from another source. Because otherwise, if it gets an update, everything that's put in there is gone. You can't convert it.
Also with Mojave, supposedly now you need to submit all of your apps to Apple to let them verify. Has anyone done that yet? Have you seen that portion of it?
Well, I'm not sure. And I was looking through the plugin SDK, and in the documentation or in the comments and some of the code, they've been talking about making it so the plugins are going to need to be signed by Apple, I think, too. Or, you know, you have like Apple developer signature on plugins. Not signed by Apple, signed by the developers using the Apple developer. Stuff.
Yeah, not only do you sign them, now you submit them to Apple, and then they run them through, and then they will approve them before they won't be allowed to even install. But
That might be stuff for the App Store. But I want to
that's coming up with, they said, a future version of Mojave. They're going to enforce that. I got it through my Apple developer notice. It says that if you have a third-party app that's not going through the App Store, then you must submit it and have them evaluate it and approve it before it'll run on future versions of Mojave.
I haven't heard about that. That sounds like that would cause a huge amount of problems.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
That would kill Mac OS if you couldn't run a program without Apple.
Yeah.
Apple. That would be like the end of the Mac operating system.
Well, that's what came through the developer. You know, it's not going through the App Store. And if you're using third-party installers and everything, they are going to, they want to approve it now.
Has anybody worked with
See ya.
crosshairs on charting? Joe, can you pull up Yahoo Finance?
Actually, well, as people are looking before, we're going to check about it, I think, for next time. Comments? Any ideas? You're still streaming.
Probably.
It's not quoted with an AAPL. Okay, so scroll down and tell it to do the chart for, let's say, a year.
All right, I'm going to turn the stream off. Thank you very much, everybody, for watching.
Bye, everyone.
Thanks.